Number 3, Eli. Number 16, Dawson. Number 26, Jacob Nichols. On defense, number 12, Keegan Walker. Number 18, Alexander Nikolov. Your goaltender, number 31, Sam Pratt. Good evening, Eagle fans. Before we drop the puck, I want to pause and shine a light on something bigger than the game, something that affects all of us. Shoulder Check is a movement rooted in the hockey community, committed to breaking the stigma around mental health and suicide. It reminds us we don't have to face this alone. We encourage you to reach out, check in, and make contact. As teammates, as friends, as a community, let's keep checking in. Let's keep supporting. A simple conversation can make a difference. Tonight, let's play with the heart and remember to look out for one another on and off the ice. Thank you.
Little difficulty we're having.
How about that?
Puck one.
Can you guys hear us? Here we go.
Okay.
A little bit of technical difficulties here, but nothing that we can't figure out on a Friday night. So as I was saying, welcome to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for this ACHA matchup between the hometown Eagles and the visiting University of Idaho Vandals. These two teams both of them looking to get back on the right track, as that one will be an offside. Neither one had a whole lot of success so far this year. This is a one-game weekend for both teams, a chance to get right back on the right side of history, we'll call it.
Get right back on track.
Get right back on track. There we go.
Easter's been an interesting case this year. The record would say they're doing poorly, but they're really not. They've been in every game but one. And most of those games, they've lost by 1 or 2 goals, and they've dominated. Sometimes 2 periods, sometimes 2.5, and it's just a little bit inconsistent. And the penalties have been really, really hurting them this year. So we'll see if they corral that tonight.
So it's something that we talk about all the time here for Eastern, is staying out of the box. And we saw it last weekend against that one up and into the netting. But we saw that against UW, where they held with the Huskies for the most part, especially on Friday, until they got into the box.
There's no doubt in my mind, Friday they dominated the Huskies, and that's taking nothing away from UW. Eastern came out flying, and then they took a major penalty, and right after that, they took a 2-minute one, and UW scored 4 goals, so they win by 3. That's what I'm talking about. Eastern just took it to them. They just got themselves on a penalty bind, so hopefully they figured it out and will stay out of the box tonight.
Well, they've got the red uniforms on today, moving from left to right across your screen. The Vandals in the call it gold and gold uniforms, moving from right to left. Puck sent back up to the top of the zone. Kicked away by Eastern Washington. Kendall with it. We talk about those penalty issues. Unfortunately, he got nabbed last week with a 5-minute major and a 10-minute misconduct. And they're going to say that one is an icing with 17:07 left in this opening period.
Well, I would also, what I'm looking at tonight is, can Eastern put together 3 periods? Like I said, they played 2 to 2.5 great periods in a hockey game, and one of those periods that go on a little lull, and that's what's been biting them. So I'm hoping that they corral that and play 3 solid periods tonight. If they do, they're going to get themselves back on track, like you were saying.
Shot taken from down low by Boot. As the Vandals look to come the other way, Clark picks it up here. Clark on the right side tries to float that one in, just a couple of inches off the ice, and swallowed up by Colin Gracilius, the netminder for the University of Idaho Vandals here tonight.
I'll tell you, one kid that's really stepped up his offense this year is Keegan Clark. It seems like he's got a goal every game. If not, he's been on at least an assist on there. He's done outstanding.
Yeah, Clark coming into the game, three goals in 8 games so far, but they've been kind of sneaky goals. A couple of them up from the top of the zone through traffic on the ice 5-hole, which seems like a goal. If you're not familiar with hockey, you just see, you put it towards the net, but to be able to do that consistently and find that space it's a real skill set for a defenseman.
Well, he's doing a nice job of pinching in at the right time, and so he is open. So people are looking for him now, and that's good to see, because that's that anticipatory hockey we've been waiting for Eastern to do now.
And Nickish trips in front of the net. That's going to give the Vandals a chance to corral the puck. But here's his brother as Eli puts that on net. Knocked away. Jacob in the corner fighting for it. Nickish brothers on the same line as Dawson Bunch out there tonight. And now here comes Bunch across the center logo, skates past Jacob, circles around, tries to figure out what to do with it. No help there for the moment. And he's going to walk it to the center, put it on net, pushed over into the corner where Jacob Nickish drops it back to his defenseman. And I believe that was Nikolov that puts that one on net. 5 shots so far for Eastern Washington, just over 1 a minute as we are 4:16 into the opening period.
Well, I liked what I saw there. Bunch, who's played outstanding this year. McGowan actually snuck in, and he was almost tagged with him on a one-timer. Unfortunately, it took a little bit to develop, but it was good to see McGowan recognize it and jumped in on the play.
Good defense there by the Eagles. Again, keeps Idaho from putting a shot towards their netminder.
Well, and that's what Eastern needs to go back to, too. For about the first 4 games, their back check was outstanding, and they kind of got away from it a little bit against UW. If they can do that, they have the offensive power to really do damage.
And now here comes Waite. Parker trying to split the defenseman, taken down on the far side, still tied up with the Vandal defenseman. That was Clayton Lee that stuck to Waite like glue as they floated all the way into the boards into the corner.
That was an
Still
excellent
having
analogy.
a conversation.
That was an excellent analogy.
He's got to get the brain juices flowing. Face-off coming. Stick side of Gracilius. Won by the Eagles. Shot taken by Kowalik. Kowalik tries to send it down as it bounces back behind him. De Leon with it. And finally, the first shot of the night for the Idaho Vandals.
Well, that's how well Eastern's played. It's taken them 6 minutes to get that first shot.
And now here comes DeZerkis, pass ahead from Arver, looking to turn the corner, can't get there, gets the shot towards the goal mouth at least. DeZerkis still with it. Dom, no look pass back to his defenseman. And now coming the other direction is De Leon the third across the blue line. Forehand stopped by Sam Brash. De Leon still looking for that wraparound. Somehow still has the puck on his stick. And now a player over the top of Sam Brash as some extracurriculars there. Let's introduce you to tonight's starting goaltender for Eastern Washington, Sam Brash. This will be Sam's 4th game of the year. Coming into this 0-2, 9 goals given up, 75 saves, an .893 save percentage, though. So it tells you how many shots he's taken in those games.
Yeah, he's been peppered pretty hard, but that was a huge save. Not only to keep this game not at 0, but just to give Eastern a little bit more life. The guy, De Leon, had a breakaway, pure and simple. Great job by Brash by shutting it down because that could give Eastern some life.
Well, and that's a huge momentum boost if you're a netminder this early on in the game to get a 1-on-0 opportunity like that and not just stand tall, but then cover up the rebound, make sure that he doesn't get that wraparound.
No, that was outstanding by Sam. But he's an outstanding goaltender. He really is. Forget about how many goals and what. I mean, he's faced a ton of shots this year.
Eastern with it on the far side now. Poked back behind the net by Lusk. Instead, he's going to cut in front of it at the last second. Trying to pass it through the neutral zone. And the Eagles, a little miscommunication. Going to give Idaho a chance to bring that one in, but a whistle for an offside here. as Kirkwood looking for an elbow, having a conversation with the linesman.
I tell you, after that save Brash made, now if Eastern get on the board quickly, that could really tilt this ice in Eastern favor.
That faceoff wins all the way back to Brash. He's going to push it off near side. Now dumped down the ice. It's going to roll. They're going to say no icing. So out of his net comes Gracilius. He swings at it and misses. Now Lusk trying to knock that puck away. Can't get to it, as it's off of the end wall. And Jelinek right in front of us dumps that towards the goal. Now some good stick work behind the net by Wilson. He's going to pass it up ahead, taken away by the Eagles. Boot off of the glass, trying to get it back behind the net. First player there is Canavan. And Canavan with it now across the blue line. He's got help coming in the center. He's going to put that one on net. Kicked away by the toe of Sam Brash. Good backdoor look by Canavan, but here comes Eli Nickish. Tries to feed it out front to his brother, but goes to his skates. Now Eli overskates it. Bunch going to come in. High dump into the neutral zone. Under the waiting stick of Clark to Ludwig. Ludwig looking to go across the zone and gets it to Wilson, but he can't hold on to it. The Vandals, a good scoring opportunity there.
Clark got a stick in the way of that passing lane on that one. Good play by Keegan to get back.
Bunch puts it into the center. It goes all the way back to Clark, the defenseman. He's going to skate towards his own blue line, turn around, feed it ahead to Jacob Nickish. Now back to Clark. Near side wall. Pushed ahead by McGowan. He's going to have to turn and give chase. DeLeon again across the blue line, now over to the far side. Stop in front of the Zamboni door as Kartchern knocks it away. Eastern not able to clear it. Clark has time behind his net. Plays it off of the wall. McGowan to Bunch, who boots it to the center of the zone. Now McGowan going to try the other direction. He finds Jacob Nickish there. Pushed ahead to Bunch. Bounces over his stick. Back to the Idaho captain, Paulson, waiting at his own blue line. Bunch holds that along the near wall. He's knocked off of the puck, but it goes back to his own defenseman. Clark on the far side in front of the Eastern bench pushes it ahead to Bunch, who touches it up down into the corner. Waite uses his hip, but can't get there in time for the puck. Has to return across the blue line as Myers puts that one back on net. Myers again tries to send it around the runner. Able to get it to Waite. Waite turns, fires out front, waiting for Kartchern. And back up to the near point with Myers. Sterling now feeds it down low. Waite knocked off of the puck, but it's going to float behind the goal. Now sent over to the far side. DeJardin, he's going to go near side, but it's taken away by the Eagles again. Back to Myers at the near side point. This time he's going to float it in, and a last-second look by Gracilius. He didn't see that until it hit him in the stick right at his 5-hole. Good positioning by the Idaho netminder.
Well, Myers did an outstanding job. He actually used Roundtree as a screen, and that's how he didn't see the puck. Gracilius, it came right at the last second. But this is what's maddening about Eastern. You see how good they can play when they're in sync. They're an outstanding team. The only thing I'm seeing right now, they're a little discombobulated in the neutral zone because they're not sure what they want to do. But besides that, they're playing a good hockey game right now as a unit. And that's what I was hoping to see.
With some speed comes Stotzner. He almost beat out both Eastern defensemen despite them having a good 20-foot lead on him. Stotzner with it again. Near side, he's going to try and go around the outside of Boot. And Josh holds him up. Gets back to DeZerkis. Dom, no look pass ahead. Boot now with it. 2-on-2 opportunity for the Eagles. Arver along the right side. Top of the circle. Puts a laser on net off of the glove of Gracilius.
I'll tell you one guy they're going to have to really watch is DeLeon. He is an outstanding hockey player.
He is quick.
He's extremely quick. He has good IQ. Eastern's got to make sure they keep an eye on him all over the place.
He's the one that took that opening breakaway down the ice. As we said, good stop by Sam Brash, but since then, I've said his name about 4 other times, and we're 11 minutes into this one.
No, he's definitely a force. And as long as Eastern's aware of it, the coaching staff who's done an outstanding job this year, they're going to pick that up. They're going to keep an eye on him.
McGowan puts that towards the net, but Kirkwood kicks it away. Now Clark back along the runner. Jelinek escapes there, and that one's going to go down the ice. They're going to call that an icing as it goes just past Sam Brash. But Idaho just trying to dump this down the ice and then catch up to it. They've got some quick players, but this early in a contest, it's hard to turn to that dump and chase game already.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking at, and that looks like their main weapon right now they're trying to do, and they're so far deep in their end that it's really not working for them because Eastern's done a nice job of blocking up the passing lanes, but you can definitely tell that's what Idaho wants to do.
Face off one again by Eastern. That one deflected high. Kendall picks it up. Shot put on net by Joel Lusk. Goes bar Mexico to put the Eagles up by 1.
Well, Lusk is really turning into an offensive machine this year. He's shown the skills the last couple of years, but this year he's definitely exerting himself, and he just took the puck, plain and simple. I don't know if they're going to give an assist, but Kendall was down there, as was Jelinek, but excellent job by Joel Lusk. He was just there, and he buried it in the top shelf, or however you said it, about something about just south of somewhere. I don't know, but
so it sounds like they're going to give Kendall the assist on that one. So the 5th goal of the season for Joel Lusk, and the 3rd assist of the year for Mr. Carson Kendall to put Eastern Washington up by 1, 11-21 into
it looked like Kendall just kind of did a little tip pass to Lusk right at the end because I saw Kendall right in the middle, and then Lusk is the one that opened it up. And I know he definitely got a stick on it. Good heads-up play by Carson Kendall along with Joel Lusk. Get that, because that really is going to go a long way into this game. Even though it's 1-0, that gives a little more life to Eastern.
Well, it's always easier to play with a lead. And here comes Eli Nickish on the right side. He's got his brother Jacob in the middle. And what?
Oh.
A lateral movement by Gracilius. And now some pushing and shoving. And both players going to get sent to the box here. As looks like that's Graves. Took exception with Nickish there.
Is that Graves or Ludwig going in?
Oh, that is Ludwig.
He's been chirping a lot. I've noticed from about the 5-minute mark, and I'm not sure if he's unhappy with what Eastern's doing, but he's chirping at everybody. But Gracilius, that was an incredible save by him because he was beat, and he came across. Nice job by him to keep this as a 1-0 game.
We'll get you guys a replay of that goal here at the next stoppage. But as it stands, 4-on-4 hockey. And it is 2 minutes for Ludwig and 2 minutes for Jacob Nickish for Ruffin.
Great save by Brash, but you got to tip your cap to Sterling Myers because he knocked it out.
Here comes Eli trying to avenge his brother's penalty there. Got a shot on, and just barely with his shoulder was Gracilius able to knock that one aside. Bunch now going to give chase behind the net. Idaho being very cautious with the puck. This one pushed up ahead to De Leon, but he can't hold on to it. Backhand past a Bunch. He's going to have to battle along the wall. Karcher now giving chase as Vaughan near side. Now back to Lee. He gains the blue line as it bounces all the way back to the Idaho side of the ice. With it now is Wilson. He's going to circle to his own face-off circles. Now gains the Eastern Washington blue line with some speed. Looking to turn the corner. Able to get it out front, but not able to handle it was Smith. And now Waite looking to take it along the side. He's knocked down from behind. Now a takeaway by the Eagles, fed out front. And Tyler Kartchern kind of everywhere on the forecheck on this shift. And they're going to call that one a hand pass. 13 seconds left on this. Well, let's take a look at this instant replay.
Little tip pass from Kendall over to Luss. That was a nice little job by them. I'll tell you, but Kowalik did a great job of riding off Wilson on that, so he couldn't cut in front of the net that last play down at Eastern's end, because that's what he was trying to do, but Kowalik just rode him and where he basically had nowhere to go.
This game's going to get a little chippy, I think, Gary, as Smith feeds it over to Dom on the far side. A swing and a miss as both players exit the box. But there's some pushing and shoving after the play on just about every stoppage. Out front to Smith.
That was Arbor.
And just like that, Eastern Washington doubles their lead. A little sneaky pass from just along the goal line by Robbie Arbor to the stick of Sean Smith to the back of the net. This one, 14-24. It'll be Smith from Arbor.
Smitty did a good job of getting himself in position for that one-timer. A great job by Arbor to even see him go in and pinch down. Nice play by both of them. But I think you hit it on the head, Tyler. It just gets a sense like this game's picking up in the physicality and the chippiness, and there's a lot of yapping going on down there. So we'll see what happens as the game progresses.
That goal officially Smith from Arbor and DeZerkis at 14-24 of the first period. The Eagles up by 2. Said Arbor's name quite a bit early on in this one. That's Robbie's 6th assist of the season.
But anytime you're in a hockey game, DeZerkis is going to get on the board somehow, some way.
And here he is trying to do it again. That one kicked just past the waiting stick of Kendall.
That kid's incredible to watch. He is just a stud.
Well, we haven't talked about it a whole lot, but the growth of Robbie Arbor from last year to this year is apparent to anybody that's watched any moment of Eastern Washington hockey this year. Took him a little bit to get caught up to the speed of the game last year, but now one of the top forwards on this team, and he is a mess to deal with at 6'2".
But you're right. He's made leaps and bounds from last year to this year. Incredible growth by him.
Eastern Washington, 16 shots already in this opening period. Once won by the Vandals. Paulson sends it along the kick plate all the way up to Wilson. He's going to pick it up in the attacking zone. And another big save by Sam Brash.
Brash is definitely holding his ground tonight. That was another big, crucial save because you know Idaho's trying hard to even this up or try to get on the board, and Brash is shutting them down.
This one fed ahead, barely kept in by Lee towards the center of the zone. Eastern was a little confused there, but still able to get first to the puck. Lusk knocked off of it. Jelinek tried to play it up ahead. He easily pushed back to Carson at the center line. What a pass by Carson Kendall. And what a finish by Liam McGowan. How about that vision by Kendall? The patience waiting, seeing McGowan come off of the bench, feeding it perfectly to him, and Liam McGowan finishing the task as it bounced up and over the shoulder of Gracilius. He got in the right spot, but just could not stop that one. This one's 16-38.
Well, two things on that one. One, Kendall being heads up, and he picked up that McGowan was coming off the bench, and McGowan was going straight for the net. Good job by him and not stopping. He just went right toward the net. Kendall picked him up. Nice pass.
And they're also going to give Jelly an assist on that one. So 16:38 of the first. McGowan from Kendall and Jelly. We'll get you these replays, at least one of them here at the next stoppage. The other one maybe after the intermission. As Nickish to Nickish. That one is going to cause problems for the Vandals all night long. That's the third pass from Eli to Jacob that's ended into the midsection of Gracilius. Let's take a look back at the last replays. So this one, the goal from Smith. As play had actually restarted here, Vandals took that one down the ice. And again, Sam Brash able to pick up a solid shot. 2:48 left. I'm sorry, 2:43 left in this opening period of this ACHA matchup between the Big Sky rivals, Eastern Washington Eagles and the Idaho Vandals. Now Waite looking to use his speed. Barker has to hold up, but wisely gets behind Canavan. Myers with it, able to beat a couple of Vandals, tried to sneak it through, but couldn't get past the last stick. This one all the way back to Nikolov. He can't clear the zone. Spin around shot by De Leon. It's going to bang off of the window and float all the way up to the far point. Now Karchurn with it. Thinks about it. Bangs it off of the shin pad of a Vandal and gets a lucky bounce back down the ice. Patrick trying to keep it in the zone, able to do so as Waite along the wall. Myers to the top of the zone. Looking for that tip out front was Nikolov. Through the zone, picked up in the slot. Heading the other direction now is Canavan. He's going to put that on net from beyond the blue line and head back to the bench. 90 seconds left in the opening period. That one again off of the window behind the cage. Paulson picks it up for the Vandals, but immediately dislodged from the puck. And here comes Myers. He's got basically the entire team of Vandals to deal with by himself. Flips that one towards the goal, but off the mark. Sterling Myers still in control of the puck. Feeds that out front. Almost a mishandle by Paulson. And finally around the outside, Arver trying to put that one back on the net. Now DeZerkis battling down into the corner. Smith looking to come pull that one away. It floats up to the top of the zone. Through traffic, off of the post. Cleaned up by Sean Smith, his second of the period.
You talk about being at the right place at the right time. That was a great example of it. Smitty, he was out floating around on the top of the slot. I think he was expecting a pass, and it came off the post and right on his stick, and there was nothing Gracilius could have done on that one because it went right on. A nice job by Smitty to bury that puck.
Just like that, Eastern Washington up by 4. We'll see who they give the assist to, if anybody. That one's always interesting to see if they give an assist to a player like that, because it was a shot off of the post, and here comes DeZerkis. What a glove by Gracilius. But let's take a second here and take a look back at that McGowan goal from a few minutes ago. You can see Kendall waiting for it. He sees Liam coming in across that Pack 8 logo to the left side, and it just bounces towards the back of the net. That was goal number 3 for Eastern Washington. We will get the latest Sean Smith twine tickler here in just a moment. And they're going to call a penalty there as I would assume a hooking Arver got his stick up a little bit high. He's trying to stick lift. And the second penalty of the game for Eastern Washington, the first power play or penalty kill they'll have to deal with, as Arver just got his stick in there a little bit too high, and that'll be a hook every time. So Eastern Washington on the penalty kill for 9.7 seconds of this first period. You'll think they'll win this face-off, and yet just like that, Smith going to send that down the ice. Griselius raises his hand looking for an errant icing there, but they'll just hold that one down the ice. And after 20 minutes, Eastern Washington controlling this game, 20 shots, and 4 of them finding the back of the net. 2 courtesy of Sean Smith, 1 from McGowan and 1 from Lusk. We've also got our intermission interview coming up. But if you stick around, we'll have the replay of that last Sean Smith goal. Let's see if we can get that pulled up here. And here it is. A look at that last Sean Smith goal. This one, the battle from the corner. And then you see Robbie come out with it. And just like that, how about we send it on down to our intermission interviewer, Reagan, who looks like she's with assistant coach Joey Porco. And it looks like we might be having some technical difficulties downstairs with Reagan and Joey. And it looks like we lost them. So we'll step away. We'll be back after this intermission. 16 minutes for the second period of action between the Eagles and the Vandals. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center, where we've got a heck of a game here between the hometown Eagles and the visiting University of Idaho Vandals. Big Sky opponents on the football field, ACHA opponents here at the URC. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, Robbie Arver, heck of a first period, but picked up one late. Going to spend the first minute 51 in timeout. But what did you see in that first period maybe that Idaho can improve upon and get on the scoreboard? Only 7 shots.
Well, Idaho needs to attack Eastern more in Eastern's end. They haven't done it. Eastern's done an outstanding job of back checking on them. I think Idaho's going to have to try to spread them out. For Eastern, they just got to get more control of that neutral zone. That's where they were running around a little bit. Besides that, Eastern's played a really good game. But Vasilius, I don't care, 4 goals in, that kid has stood on his head.
He has had some incredible saves.
But yeah, if Eastern can just keep doing what they're doing, try to get control over that neutral zone. And again, Idaho, they were trying hard. You picked it up. I picked it up. They've been trying to do that stretch pass, and it wasn't working for them. And so I think they should shorten it up a little bit, especially coming out of their end, try to attack the neutral zone a little bit much more because they got Eastern running around there. We'll see what kind of adjustments.
Now here comes a chance for Eastern Washington. Jelinek has an assist today. One man in front of him and good defense. I believe that was Clayton Lee.
That was an outstanding job by Lee because Jelinek is quick, and he didn't let Jelinek get her off of it because if Jelinek gets a step on you, he's gone.
Well, I was just going to say that was the most sustained possession that I think we've seen, the most patience from Idaho so far, and then an errant pass, and here we are heading back the other way. We saw that early on in the first period for Idaho. We'll see if maybe we see a flip of the script here in the second. Second face-off won by the Vandals.
Well, I think what's crucial for Idaho to get themselves back in this game, they got to score next. Coming out of intermission, that's the time you get your legs back, get a little more energy in it, and they have to attack. And they might have to take a few more gambles. They were a little conservative, but we'll see what kind of adjustments they made.
This one back to Ludwig. Plays it off to Lee, back to Ludwig. Near side now to Smith. Back to Lee, over to Ludwig again. The Vandals cycling the puck, near side. Kicked away. Shot by Smith. It's going to go all the way down the kick plate. Fresh ice, so Lee has to chase that one almost a full 200 feet. Arver stands up in the penalty box. 12 seconds left on this power play for the Vandals. One more trip down the ice on the stick of Wilson. He pushes it over to the far side to Desjardins. And out of the box comes Arver. This one picked up by Lee at the near side blue line. If that had gotten past him, Robbie would have been all by himself down the ice. And now puck off the wall, picked up by Arver. Backwards through the neutral zone to the blue line and then fires it into the corner. Miscommunication as Kendall thought Arver was cutting to the middle. Instead, he cut to the corner. So taken away by the Vandals.
I think one thing to keep an eye on, I would be stunned if Ludwig and De Leon do not go on the same line periodically throughout this period because those two are their offensive force. You can tell that, and they're on separate lines, but I can see the coaching staff every once in a while on a shift put those two together because that'd be a dynamic duo.
And we've said their name quite a bit. De Leon's the one that's had a couple of breakaways already, but those two really, they seem to be driving the bus for the Vandals offensively, as you said, Gary.
No question in my mind about it. Plus, Graves has played well tonight too, and so has Lee. But those two, I can see pairing up. Sometime they're going to start doing a couple shifts. I'd be amazed if they didn't because that's going to be an offensive force.
That was an errant icing call, so faceoff came at center. Arver now with it. He pushes it ahead to Dzurkis. He tries a little toe drag, goes off the end of his stick. Now Arver having to give chase. He's got one man on the outside. I think that's Lee. Comes in crashing. Out front now atop the logo as Mongeau clangs it off of the iron. Closest Idaho's been to finding the back of the net. That an odd bounce off of the stanchion and up into the netting. The 16:40 left in this second period.
But you mentioned in the first period, Robbie Arver, how much he's improved. And there's a great example of it. He's not a defenseman. He saw his defenseman take a gamble, pinched in. He came back and looped around and took his position. And I don't know if he would have done that so much last year. He's just playing heads-up hockey this year. Outstanding job by Arver.
And we talk about it a lot. The college game is quite a bit faster than even the AA game here in Washington State. So a lot of these players that come from that system, or even sometimes from a league like the KIJHL, it takes them a year to get used to that speed. And I think that's exactly what it was with Robbie. He had to get used to the speed and the intensity, really, of these games. But he's really become a force for the Eagles, like you said.
He has, and so is Jelinek. Jelinek, I don't know, he's a kid that seems like he gets a point every game now, too. He's played outstanding.
Well, he's got 1 point, almost an opportunity there for a goal. Like he's got a radio in his helmet. You started talking about him. He made 2 men miss, got the puck down the ice, and almost corralled it right at the top of the crease.
Jelinek has such a high IQ. He knows exactly where he wants to go, and he does not slow down.
High dump down into the corner.
But I tell you, Kendall's sure having a solid game tonight. He is all over there on the offensive attack.
Nikolov with it. He's going to feed it back to his own man. It comes out of the zone and then back into it. Some contact on the far side of the ice. Fresh skates for the Vandals. Puck handed off to Lusk. Lusk leaves it off for Kendall. Tries to go back to Lusk. He's going to have to play it off of the wall. Now Bunch battling for it. Lusk waiting off to the side. Dawson Bunch comes away with it. He gets it back to Kowalik. The Vandals able to get possession for moments here, but not able to get it out of their zone. And another attempt stopped by Bunch. Now finally into neutral ice, but Kowalik going to chop that right back in. No relief for the Vandals in this long change second period.
Eastern's doing a good job of attacking the Vandals right now, and they're really posing a lot of problems by doing that attack against the Vandals. We're not sure what to do.
Another look for that deep pass from behind the goal. Tough for the goalie to see those, and Eastern's picked up on something. I don't know if it's something they've practiced this week or if it's something that they've seen in this game, but they found that pass from below the goal line back out front, and a couple of times it's been right on the stick.
And they might have got that off the UW playbook because they did that. Oh, that's whole UW's attack behind the net. And there's nothing wrong with implementing it because it works really well.
And they're going to say that's offside as Kirkwood picked that up just outside of the zone and came right back in.
But one good thing Eastern's doing now that they're back to their attacking game. They did that earlier in the season, worked extremely well for them. If they could just spread out a little bit more and not bunch in so much, I think they could pose the Vandals just a ton of problems because Eastern's just put relentless pressure on them right now, and Idaho's having trouble dealing with it.
Going over to the far side, across the goal to Waite, and it's picked up by De Leon. He couldn't hold on to it. Now here comes Parker Waite for the Eagles. Gains the blue line, has a few players in gold around him. Not able to get that one back to the goal mouth. But again, gets it into the zone and now up to the Eagles to make a play. And instead it's heading the other way as De Leon tries to chase that one down. Waite still behind the defense. Picks that one up, pushed into the wall. And now the puck going to head the other direction. Back to the near side wall again. Clark trying to get it across the ice, but nobody in a red jersey over there except for Ethan Patrick. And that's where the puck finally goes, just out of his reach. Paulson pushes off Waite as the puck goes down the other way. That one up into the bench as Desjardins tried to play that one off of the wall, and now a couple of players running into each other out front. And that's going to send Eastern Washington to the box. I'm not sure that was intentional. It seemed like they kind of ran into each other, or maybe Parker a little extra shove there.
I think you're being kind on Parker on that one. That was, again, that goes back to one of those penalties. Like, you got to wonder, like, what was the gain on that? The whistle was done with. The penalty was going on, and so I think the coaching staff will have a conversation on that, because that was just an unnecessary one. And Parker's playing extremely well, so I'm a little bit surprised on that one.
So they're going to give him 2 minutes for an unsportsmanlike there.
And that was a good call by the referee. It really was. The play was totally blowing dead on that.
That one knocked just wide of the net. First power play of that started in this period for the Vandals, but Eastern Washington going to send themselves back to the box and give the Vandals a 5-on-3 thanks to a high stick from Nikolov. So bad news gets worse for the Eagles.
And I was getting ready to comment how well Eastern's done with controlling themselves.
It's because you thought about it.
The game was getting chippy. And, they only took a couple in the first period. And, yeah, you're right. Now, I'm hoping this is not that waterfall that starts going down. Idaho's taking a timeout. This is their opportunity to get back in it. It truly is, because they got a minute 28 left on one. They score on that. They still have a power play off that. But we'll see. But it was funny. We're talking about DeLeon quite a bit. I'm finding myself.
Let's take a look back real quick at this Parker Waite.
Yeah, let's.
Penalty here. You see, he'll come up right here and just boop, grabs the skate there. And that's the part that I didn't see in real time was the stick. I thought he just casually kind of skated by and gave him a shoulder. No, you definitely can't pull the skates out from underneath somebody. That's going to get you a timeout.
And like I said, the play was blowing dead. So, but DeLeon, I'm finding myself every time he's out there, I'm watching him, because that kid, he's done a couple passes between his legs. He's just so shifty. He's actually just a joy to watch. And again, I still wait to see when Ludwig's going to team up with him.
On the ice is Lee, Wilson, Paulson, Smith, and Ludwig for the Vandals. Ludwig with it. Circles up in front of his bench and mishandles it. And Eastern Washington getting away with one there. Is Jelinek able to dump that down the ice? Even with the three men on the ice, Jelinek still going to give some pressure in the neutral zone. Almost got beat back. Jelinek thought about a change, couldn't get there. Now Lee with it. He's going to gain the blue line. Pushes over to the far side. Eastern needs to maintain that shape.
Well, they definitely can't chase him around. They got to stay in that triangle.
Pass over to the far side. Rocket by Ludwig off the mark, and that's going to go all the way back down the ice. Out of his net is Gracilius. He's going to hold off on that. This gives Eastern Washington a chance to get some fresh skates. Now Lusk with it. He's going to hold it and then send it the full 200 feet again. 20 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Dzurkis casually chasing that puck. I thought maybe he was going to lightly up in the corner there. It seemed like a casual Dom move, but wisely kind of lets up there.
Well, if you look at who Eastern has out there, I would not be surprised they're going to try to do a breakout pass.
Yeah, Lusk with the puck there. He tried to get it down the ice as the player came out of the box. Now on to a 5-on-4. Dangerous shot off of the legs of Wilson. Now again out front. This one, top of the zone again. Over to the far side. Eastern a little disjointed and unable to hold that on the back post. I think was Mongeau. Actually, it's De Leon near side now. And Eastern gonna get one here as Lusk gonna chase this, and it's covered up by Gracilius. As Eastern Washington exits the box, they're gonna trade one out for De Leon. Good news for Eastern Washington is maybe the most dangerous player on the ice can't be dangerous for 2 minutes as De Leon going to take the second penalty of the night for the Vandals. And that'll be a high stick at 9:44 in this second. Eastern Washington, a chance on the power play.
What was interesting watching the Eagles there when they were shorthanded, it looked to me, and that's why they got a little bit disjointed at they looked like they were going to try to do a big cross-ice pass to get a breakaway, and they couldn't really corral the puck, and that's why they kind of looked like they were out of position, but they were definitely looking for the attack.
DeZerkis with a rocket, and after that 5-on-3 kill, Eastern Washington, if they can find the back of the net, the momentum needle will definitely swing in their direction.
Well, it'll be devastating for the Vandals, to be real frank with you. They just had a two-man advantage to give up one now.
Here's Lusk, near side to DeZerkis, and just like that, 30 seconds, Lusk to Dom to the back of the net on the power play.
DeZerkis makes his home right there. He's always at that circle, and he's always looking for that one-timer, and Eastern knows him. They're, and I give him credit. They're looking for him. Great pass by Lusk right on his stick, and he just followed through, and there's nothing Gracilius could do on that one. When Dom gets a straight shot like that, it's very rare it doesn't go in the net.
Well, what a pass by Lusk.
Oh, yeah.
Tape to tape, and DeZerkis was ready for it. You can tell that that's one of those plays that they
work
practice in, during the week.
I think they work on that a lot. But that's what Eastern needed. Try to get a little more doubt in on the Vandals.
Well, and how about that? 10:15 of this second period, DeZerkis from Lusk and Mr. Robbie Arver getting his second point of the day.
Way to go, Robbie.
And there he is with the puck again. Stick over into the corner. Not sure whose that is. It looks like that was Canavan, had to go get it. Smith turns, tries to put it towards the goal mouth. Back out front again, DeZerkis looking for another one. And Nikolov has it out front, again looking for DeZerkis. Lusk to Dom again. Tries to feed it back to Lusk, now off the wall. Lee has it, a high dump. Right to the waiting hands of De Leon. He's going to feed it out front. Backhand turn towards the net. A little bit maybe of a panic there by Roundtree, as here comes Kendall. Near side, he's got Myers. That one off of the wall. Lusk not able to hold on to it. We'll see what this one is. Too many men for the Vandals.
It's definitely what Idaho cannot afford to keep going a man down, because Eastern right now is working on all 8 cylinders. They're moving the puck extremely well, cycling really well. They're anticipating where they're going to be. You saw it in the DeZerkis goal.
Let's take a look back at that goal. You see it cycled around the zone, goes down low, and then back up top to Lusk. And then Dom just waits, and he's got that whole side of the net open as Gracilius was trying to play that other half, waiting for that pass back.
Well, it's that cycle, and it moved Idaho all the way to the left and left Dom wide open. And when you do that, he's so comfortable in that spot. That's why they were looking for him.
And that was a power play goal by DeZerkis. Eastern Washington back on the power play. Too many men on the ice for the Vandals. Serving that penalty is going to be Kirkwood, 11:36 into this second period. Now across the blue line. Shot in and out of the glove of Brash. And he does a good job to recover there. Gets his own rebound knocked away. Smith at the blue line. Lays it off behind him for Bunch. And that one back to Lusk. The Eagles a little unhappy about that delayed offside call. So they didn't think that one went back across the blue line. Now Lusk going to pick it up by his own net. Joel waits, stares at Vaughn. Eastern very content, just kind of letting the time run off of the clock. Now over to the far side to Jelinek as they start moving. Across the blue line, Jelinek now to the near side, gains the blue line. He's got Lusk trailing. Jelinek to Lusk in the center. Lusk thinks about it, puts that on net. has it sticked away at just the last second. Jelinek, near side to Jacob Nickish. Off of Parker Waite and into the goal. Little hip check goal by Parker Waite.
Excellent job by Jacob Nickish also. Parker Waite did a great job of getting himself basically in front of Brasilius, and nice job by Mr. Waite on that one, but you got to tip your hat to Jacob Nickish on that. He was waiting for Waite to set up.
And taking a look at it again, you see it just again in that same area.
Well, they're making Idaho chase them doing it that way, and they're cycling extremely well. And that's one thing I've really been impressed with Eastern this period. They're really moving the puck quickly. They're making Idaho do what they don't want to do. And the penalties are hurting Idaho this time. So
that goal officially 12:52 of the second period. Parker Waite from Jake Nickish. That's Parker's third goal of the season.
Mr. Waite felt bad about that penalty, so he made up and got the goal.
Now here come the Eagles again the other direction. Jacob Nickish skated passed by his brother, who feeds it over to Bunch off of the iron on the side of the cage.
Brasilius made a great save on that one. That was going in the top shelf.
Now backdoor, looking to wrap it around the corner, and he does. Eli Nickish getting in on the action, 13:50.
And I think his brother's going to get the assist on that one because he was right behind the net and he pushed it out to his brother. Eastern's just, again, it's going back. What they're doing now is they're just attacking. They're not even thinking about it now. It's second nature to them. And this is what we saw earlier in the year that made Eastern so effective was that attacking style. Here's that replay on this one, but you'll see his brother behind the net.
And he passes it right across and just finds it.
And Brasilius, I don't care, 7 goals. This kid has played outstanding for Idaho.
There's only so much you can do when you've got 2 opponents behind you, one on either side. You've got to pick a side.
Yep.
He just guessed wrong on that one, and he guessed the side where he saw the puck the last.
And you're right. You really don't know where that player is behind the net because he's set up right in the middle of the net.
That one up ahead to Arver. Now Smith with it. He's going to send it along the kick plate over to the far side to Dezerkis. He's going to leave it off. Dezerkis to McGowan. He's got one already tonight. Near side. Arver looking for one and just can't find it with his tape. McGowan uses the body. Kendall with that long reach, able to get just enough of it. They're going to send that one into the score box, and we'll have a new puck.
Arver had it. It was Kirkwood that actually lifted up his stick, and that's how come he didn't get full swing on that one, or that would have been in the net. Brasilius was still, he was sliding over, but nice job by Kirkwood.
Face-off coming in front of the Eastern Washington bench. 5:11 left in this second period. The Eagles lead by a touchdown. Lusk on the far side. Trying to find somebody up top, but Vaughn there first. Now the Vandals coming the other direction. Across the blue line is Stotzner. And again, towards the goal mouth. Stotzner coming in a little bit too close for comfort, at least according to the Eastern Washington players.
Well, Mr. Myers wanted to let him know that he got a little close right there. I can't say enough about Sterling Myers' versatility. You know, he can play forward, he can play D. The kid's just steady. He's just a steady hockey player.
Kendall with it now. Runs over the Vandal in front of him and ends up across the line by just a couple of steps. And Jelinek trying to draw a penalty here. I think that's Vaughn He's having a little 20-foot conversation with.
I just think Jelly didn't agree with his pizza selection at the Barrel House that he's going to have tonight and want to let him know that was the wrong call, really. I could be wrong on that one.
Some guys get very passionate about that pineapple on pizza conversation. Kendall trying to take on every Vandal, but coming away with it is Stotzner. Now back behind the goal. Far side, it's Myers going to be there first for Eastern Washington. Through the skates of the Vandal, it was waiting, and then Myers plays it right off the wall, takes a bad bounce directly back towards him. And the Vandals now putting shots on net from distance. I think they're just trying to up that shot counter, make Brash work a little bit here in the second period. Only 5 shots on net in this period for either team.
Well, what Eastern's doing a good job on the Vandals are standing them up, and Idaho can't get in their zone. So I wouldn't be surprised they're taking those long shots, more of trying to dump and chase, and to see if they can loosen up Eastern a little bit.
Back across the blue line, Canavan off of the end wall. He pushes it in. More of that dump and chase style hockey from the Vandals. They've got the speed advantage on most of these lines, but Eastern using the body to get in front of the attackers has really slowed down the Vandals.
And that's the way you do it. Get your body in front of them. Don't play the stick. If you do that, they can't get their momentum going. But now what I want to see out of Eastern is their composure. Okay, now it's 7-zip. It's getting chippy. There's a lot of conversations going out there. They've got to play under control on this one and not start making a beeline to that penalty box. So that's what I want to be really looking for, to see if they can do that. Because they're attacking extremely well. Idaho just can't slow them down.
So far, 4 penalties for the Eagles, 3 for the Vandals. The Eagles 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. The Vandals 0 for 2. We talk about it a lot. The special teams really is the difference maker. And what a dive there by Boot. It's a little telegraphed. I thought that the Vandal player, I think that's Montague, or actually rather that's De Leon. I thought he was going to wait for it. And now here comes Waite, looking to snipe that top corner and lifts it just a bit too tall. Back behind the defense is Lee. That's not where the puck goes. And now finally it does, but Brash covers that one up. A lot of action for Sam here in the last couple of minutes, but a lot of it easy cover-ups as the puck's coming towards his blue paint.
Yeah, it's harmless. I mean, it's like it really looks like Idaho's trying to go from the blue line and hoping that they can get a rebound or something. Brash is just smothering it up. He's having a fine game.
The Vandals finally equaling their shot total from that first period. Still almost 3 left to play in this second. And that's going to be a penalty for the Vandals as it's touched up. We'll see what they call. I would guess it might be a hold or an interference, and that's what they go with. As the puck had floated 10 to 15 feet in front of the Eagle that was carrying it in, but Stotzner never let up on that blue line, and that'll get you every time, especially if the officials are standing right there. They give you about a 2 count, and if you don't let go, they're going to put that arm up, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head on that one. I think he was going to let it get away with it, but he kept going, and he wouldn't back off on it, and the referee made a good call on that one.
The Eagles able to take quick advantage of the power play on the last 2.
Zerkis is sitting there at his home waiting for that one-timer.
I have to add that on the ice. Dom's office.
Oh, no question about it.
Now off to the far side. Waiting at the attacking blue line is Arver. Now 4 Eastern players waiting at that blue stripe. Lusk going to carry it in himself. All 5 players in the zone now. Lusk along the near side. He's got Zerkis up top. He's going to go over to the far side. Finally now Lusk back with it up top. Near side to Zerkis. This time took a couple of steps instead of just firing it away, or firing it right away, rather. DeZerkis up to Lusk. Far side now. Shot in and out. They're trying to get that puck to Dawson Bunch. Back up to DeZerkis, off the wall to Lusk. Too hard for Joel to handle. Now Smith with it. He has it knocked away by Wilson. And that's going to be a 5-on-3 for the Eagles as Wilson couldn't control his stick there. And he's going to get sent to the box for an interference. Got there just a bit too soon. And the Vandals definitely disagree with that one. 18-38. And it'll be Wilson for interference.
But what's hurting Idaho now by taking these penalties in rapid succession, they're wearing themselves down because it takes a lot of energy to do a penalty kill on that one. As many penalties they've taken right now, they're just really hurting their cause.
DeZerkis with it. Fires it. Good stick by Gracilius, but it knocks his twig all the way down into the corner, and now the puck back to Brash as Gracilius into the corner. He falls down. The Eagles not paying attention as they were working on their own build-up the other direction. And another quick icing call as the Eagles, I thought, were going to beat that out. The Vandals didn't even look like they were chasing it. But we'll come all the way back down to the Eastern Washington end of the ice. 25 seconds left on the 5-on-3. The Vandals unable to kill off a penalty so far in this game, other than the 4-on-4 that opened that first period. Now here come the Eagles heading the other direction. Good defense by De Leon to slow down Eastern Washington and allow his defenseman to get back there. Coming into the zone, near side to DeZerkis, kicked away by Gracilius. 7 seconds left. DeZerkis again trying to put that one on the net, and that one up into the black netting above the Zamboni door. 3 ticks left on the 5-on-3, then minute 10 of 5-on-4.
Eastern's definitely looking sharp tonight. They're back to their attacking style mode, and that pays dividends for them. They got away from it for a little bit, but now they're back doing it.
Jacob Nickish puts that on net. The Vandals able to kill their first penalty of the game, and it comes at a big time on the 5-on-3. Waite has it to Jacob Nickish, who again tries to find that far corner, and it goes just a bit too tall. Gracilius seals the post, still loose. And Waite thought about the Michigan for a second. You could see his stick flex behind the goal.
Yes, he did.
He thought better of it. Passed it near side to Jacob Nickish, who put it on net.
I think he thought he was a little bit closer to the front of net when he started doing that. I think he realized, and then he kicked it over to Nickish. A good headset play by Waite.
I think the kids these days call that an intrusive thought. Thought about it, and then thought, better not. .40 seconds left on the power play. Puck out front off of the faceoff. Well, we'll see who they credit that with, but it floated just to the back post, and it was so slow. I'm not sure that Gracilius saw it come that far. Eastern Washington picked it up right away, and I think that's Jared Jelinek going to get credit for that one. Another power play goal at the buzzer.
And I think they shot the puck from that faceoff on that one. They didn't try to pull it back. That was the plan on it. Shoot the puck right off that faceoff, and it worked because it was just kicking there, and you can't beat that to end that period. Outstanding job. Jelinek was right there. Yeah, Carter, there's no doubt in my mind if we get a replay on that, you see it looks like they shot off that faceoff.
Let's take a look here. As you look at Kartchern in the circle, and he does. He puts that right on net, and it just, that scrum out front, and you can see it just as time is expiring. Eastern Washington finding the back of the net, officially Jelinek from Kartchern at 19:59.
Outstanding play by Carson.
And it looks like Reagan is downstairs with Liam McGowan. Reagan, take it away, my friend.
So that was your kind of how that feeling.
Great. The barn was buzzing. It was just really fun. Yeah.
Also, and then what's the team kind of feeding off that energy from the crowd?
Every time we have a play, get the crowd's going. It just keeps us going. We want to keep doing more. Feeding to the crowd.
Awesome. Is there anything else you're kind of looking to get from this game?
A lot more goals. Keep shoving it down their throats.
Awesome. Thank you.
And thank you to Leah McGowan and Reagan downstairs for our intermission interview. We're going to step away. 4 goals in that period for Eastern Washington, 3 of them on the power play, courtesy of Dezerkis, Waite, Eli Nickish, and Jared Jelinek. We're going to step away. We'll be back in 17 minutes with the exciting third period. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center, where we are ready for the third period of action between the hometown Eagles and the visiting University of Idaho Vandals. So far, this game has been all Eastern Washington, 8 goals, 4 in each of the first 2 periods. But really, the story of that second period was the penalties for the Idaho Vandals. They ended up in the box 4 times, including a 5-on-3. And the only penalty that they were able to kill off was that 5-on-3. Gave up 3 power play goals in that second period. And only were able to put 7 shots on net for those each of those first 2 periods. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, after watching 2 periods, Idaho just needs to get on the board here in this third. Other than putting more shots on net, what do they need to do early on in this period?
I think they're going to have to go away from that stretch pass system that they keep trying to do. Eastern's done a good job of blocking the passing lanes on that. And you could see for a period and a half, almost 2 periods, that was what their attack is. But Eastern, you got to give them credit. They have come out on fire. They're playing exactly how we thought they could play this year. They're playing anticipatory hockey. Great positional hockey. They're covering up for each other. They just need to get a better control in that neutral zone, but they've played great. In Idaho, they're just going to have to take some gambles. But Gracilius, I'm going to tell you, 8-zip, but it's not his fault. That kid's
He has had some
outstanding.
incredible saves.
Unbelievable net minding tonight from him. And Brash has had an outstanding game for Eastern.
Of those 8 goals, 7 different goal scorers for Eastern Washington. Joel Lusk, Sean Smith with 2. And here come the Vandals down to the other side as Ludwig tries to pick it up. And that'll be an offside.
But that's what Idaho tried to do. They try to catch Eastern off guard with that long stretch pass, breaking the guy in, but that's not working for them because either they're not connecting on the pass or Eastern's done a nice job of blocking up that passing lane. And I'm a little bit surprised they're still attacking that way rather than changing a little bit, try to get some better control in that neutral zone and attack from there. But we'll see what happens.
And the linesman having a little soft parenting conversation with players on the far side. They tried to crash in a little bit too quick, but as I was saying, there are goals from Lusk, 2 from Smith, McGowan, Dezerkis, Waite, Eli Nickish, and Jared Jelinek for Eastern Washington, and just as many assists to go around.
Well, then they weren't cheap goals either, and that's why I'm talking about. Gracilius has done everything he can. I mean, those have been excellent goals by Eastern. They're just putting on a clinic right now. And this is kind of what I said before, and you said it. This is how we expect them to start playing, is as a unit.
Well, and, proof of that, Eastern Washington has 11 assists on their 8 goals tonight. That's proof that they're passing that puck around and getting into open spots, but more so that they're making Gracilius work post to post and moving that puck around.
Well, they're cycling more, and that's where it's really been helpful for them to pass the puck around, and you can see it, and they're getting Idaho to chase them, and that's working in Eastern's favor. But this is how I expect Eastern to play. They're playing a solid hockey game tonight.
That one through the netting back behind the glass. So another stoppage, 18:01.
But again, Brash has really held his ground for Eastern in net tonight. He's done an outstanding job, especially coming up big early in the game when they had the breakaway from De Leon. There's Eastern again attacking. Nice job by Robbie Arbour. He hit it. Gracilius had it. It came out, and Arbour toe dragged it back to himself. You'll see it on the replay. Robbie Arbour, you talked about him in the first period. The kid's improved. He's an offensive machine now, but he did a great job of standing his ground, got his own rebound, and buried the puck in. And Gracilius can only do so much. We keep saying that, but that one, he made the initial save, came right back to Arbour, and Arbour buried it.
And we'll get that replay here at the next stoppage. And they're going to give that one to Arbour unassisted because, as you said, that puck kind of died right at Gracilius's leg pads. Arver stuck his big old stick in there, and that's where the 6'2" comes into play. Kept his feet outside of the scrum, just pulled it back to himself and snuck it in between the legs of the Vandals defenseman.
What I really liked what Arver did was he stayed with the play. He didn't spin off or anything. He purposely made sure where the puck was, and that's how he got the goal.
And now out of his crease comes Gracilius, a couple of players, including Arver, landing on top of him.
Yeah, Arver's on. He wants that other goal.
Let's take a look at this instant replay as Arver with 2 assists and a goal tonight.
Keep an eye on how Arver stays in there.
And there you see it. He just pulled it right back, tucked it into the back of the net. Good night, goal number 9. That goal, 2:06 of the third period. Now Jelinek trying to chase that down on the back post, just a couple of strides behind it. He's going to feed that down low to Kendall, who turns and puts that on net. Again, Eastern looking to clean it up. And Gracilius doing everything he can to make the first and second save a lot of the time, but getting no help from the Idaho defenseman to clear that one away from his goal.
And one good thing I was going to bring up right at the start, I really wanted to see how Eastern was going to play this, and they're not letting up at all. They're not lackadaisical. They're working the system that Joe White's implemented. You can see it, and that will bode well for them because they're not letting off the gas at all.
Near side now to Kendall. He's got Kowalik at the top of the zone. That's where he goes. Nate able to keep it in. And no, actually, Nate going to send it in. And I'm not. They're calling these offsides awful quick as they come back across the line before anybody touches them. Almost the USA hockey youth model on those offside calls.
But they're consistent.
They are consistent. And that's all you can ask for. And that's no knock on the officials.
No, not at all. They've called a good game tonight, no question about it. And you're right, that's what you want. Just be consistent, and then the players have to adjust.
And Boot knocked down as he went in front of, I think it was Canavan, who's going to get sent to the box. Another interference call. Actually, they're going to call that a rough.
Oh.
I think that one probably could have gone either way.
I was with you. I thought it was going to be an interference, but however you look, Eastern's going to have the power play.
Can't do that.
And again, Idaho's hurt themselves by taking all those penalties in the second. You know they're running out of energy, and now they keep going in the box, and Eastern just enjoying themselves right now. They just look like they're having fun tonight.
And it's Bunch, Smith, and Arver up front. Lusk and DeZerkis on the blue line for the Eagles on this power play. 3 power play goals on 4 chances so far tonight. They'll look to make it 4 of 5 in the next minute 45. Lusk has it along the near wall. Gains the blue line, looks to go to the left side, cuts right back towards the middle. Has to beat a couple of Vandals. Near side now to Bunch. He takes just one too many touches to corral it and then sends it a bit too tall. Bunch now back up top to Lusk. He's going to go through traffic, and now Dawson Bunch looking to clean it up. Instead, he's going to go near side. Back up top to the point to Lusk. Easily down low to Bunch. Over to the far side now to DeZerkis, who puts that one on net from his office. Smith back to DeZerkis, back up top to Lusk. He's able to keep it in. Over to DeZerkis. Kicked away out front by a Vandal. Now Lusk with it. Near side, nobody there. I'm sorry, that was Smith. Lusk with it now up top. Back over to Smith on the far side. DeZerkis, rather. And this one going to go all the way back down. Brash going to touch that one just off to the side. Lusk a little lackadaisical with it. Pushed off of the puck, but Bunch there to clean it up. Bunch circles back. Now near side to Lusk, who brings it across the blue line. He's going to circle back towards the blue line. Swing and a miss as it's knocked away now by De Leon. Still with it. Little Pele back kick. And then Arver does one of his own. The Vandals keeping the Eagles pinned in. Bunch now across the center stripe, gains the blue line. He's the only Eagle in the zone, and now he's joined by Kartchern, who had an assist late in that second period. And Eastern going to pick up a penalty as I look down, and Lee is on the ice.
That's going to be a slash, if I'm not mistaken.
That is what it was. So this penalty, 5:41 of the third period, bunch for a slash. That'll effectively kill the rest of that 1 second power play that Eastern had remaining. So minute 59 of power play time coming for the Vandals. Their chance to get on the board. It's back to full strength. Off of the wall now. Ludwig with it. He's going to go to the top of the zone to Lee. Lee towards the goal mouth, swallowed up by Brash. 15 seconds into the penalty. Brash's 16th save of the night.
I've been watching the Vandals on this power play, and they're running a couple of their players, especially Paulson, right in front of Brash. They're trying to create some traffic in him and see if that won't help get the puck behind him.
And takeaway by the Eagles. And Jelinek wisely skating away, just trying to waste time on that penalty. He could have taken it towards the goal, but instead turned back towards his own side of the ice.
And that probably ate up an extra 3-4 seconds doing it that way. Good heads-up play by him.
Well, it's been a good 15, maybe even 20 seconds since he did that now, and now the Vandals finally get it out of their own zone. You can hear the crowd. Little Let's Go Eagles chant today.
Well, again, what Eastern's doing really well, they're just totally clogging up the passing lanes for the Vandals. They just can't get by the Eagles right now. And that's, again, in the neutral zone.
Here's Lee. He puts that one on net as Waite loses his stick. Ludwig back down low to Lee. He's looking to get it back to Ludwig up top. Instead, he tries to send it through the slot. And Ludwig going to have to chase it into the neutral zone and then send it back in. Boot with it. High dump down the ice. First player there is Mongeau, but Nickish keeps him pinned in. De Leon, back pass now to Lee. Near side, Lee chases it down the wall into the circle, puts that on net, bounces out front, looking for the wraparound of Stotzner. He can't get it, and somehow Sam Brash finds that through the traffic with 3 ticks left on the penalty clock to keep this one 9-0.
But you got to give Parker Wade a ton of credit on that one. He was over by the post, and he's actually got the puck out of harm's way when Brash made the original save because they had a Vandal right on top of him. So good job, not only by Brash, but Wade on that one. But again, what I mean by what Eastern's doing well with the zone and passing lanes is if you look at Idaho, they're trying to set up a zone on each side of the ice. And it's interesting. Oh, that bounced off his pad. That bounced off Brash's pad. I think that was Canavan. And then besides that zone thing, they're passing lane, they're clogging it up. So actually they're taking a lot away of the attack from the Vandals. But they got one in finally behind Brash. But Brash made the initial stop.
And we'll see if we can get a replay of that one. But yeah, Brash made that stop and just couldn't get the seal on that post. And just like that, the Vandals, you don't want to say a moral victory, but they made it onto the scoreboard. And here comes DeZerkis. He gets that one right back. Couple of steps and picks the left corner.
That's definitely not a player you want to see all alone on your netminder.
That one's 7:57. DeZerkis, his second of the game.
What Dom did, he made Brazilios make the first move, and he went down, and Dom just buried in the top. Harvey's looking for that hat trick.
He was trying for it. The Dezerkis with his second of the game. So one rims around over to the far side. Here comes Arver again. He's going to push that one ahead. And that'll be an icing as it goes just a bit too far. $11:20 left to play in this. And if you're an Eagle fan, this is exactly the result that you wanted here in Cheney tonight. A one-game weekend before the team heads off to California next week, where they'll play San Jose State on Thursday, Cal Berkeley Friday, Saturday, and then San Jose State again on Sunday. 4 Pac-8 games for the Eagles coming up next weekend. Dezerkis out front and just barely with the toe. Gracilius able to save that one and keep Dom from finding his third of the night. And the Vandals a little bit upset as that puck was still loose. The official blew the whistle, but Clark still came and tried to poke that one 5-hole. The Vandals took exception to that. And a face-off won by the Vandals. This one, good pass down the wall. Wilson turning on his jets to get there first. Beats out the icing, but can't control the puck. Jelinek has to touch that one up quickly. And you can start to see how this one can get chippy quickly. It has a couple of call them touches after the whistle. This one was an offside, so they'll set up just outside of the blue stripe. Face-off taken by the Vandals. Now ahead to Lusk. He's got Jelinek in the center. Can't get a hold of it. Now Kendall on the far side. Carson has to battle a couple of Vandals, and it's Idaho that comes away with it. De Leon still can't get it out of the zone. This one right up front. Forehand by Kendall. And then backdoor Jared Jelinek again.
I'm not sure if they're going to give Myers an assist on that one, but he initially shot it on Gracilius, and it came out to Jelinek, which good heads-up play by Jelinek to even stay in it and really focus on that because the puck came right out to him. So it'll be interesting if Myers will pick up an assist on that.
LaShawn Smith, Dom Dezerkis, and now Jared Jelinek, all with 2 goals tonight. Robbie Arver, 2 assists and a goal. And they are going to give it to Myers as the secondary. I couldn't.
It looks like they've given it to Kendall also an assist on that.
So Kendall and Myers with the assists on that one. Jelinek's 4th goal of the season coming 9:41 of the 3rd period, courtesy of Kendall and Myers. Their 5th and 4th assists on the season, respectively. The Eagles, no let-up here, and you wouldn't expect it after the season that they've had, where they've had some big leads, and they've seen those disappear. There's no taking the foot off the gas pedal for this Eastern Washington team.
And that's what I was hoping to see.
Now Eli Nickish, he's got one tonight. Feeds it over to McGowan. Clark against Ludwig. Ludwig taken out. And the Vandals looking for a kneeing or a tripping on that one, but nothing coming. Pushed up ahead slightly to Jake Nickish. Now McGowan tries to feed it off of the wall, but right to the stick of Lee, who falls down. Clark across the blue line. He's taken out by two different Vandals as soon as he gets rid of the puck. And then the two Vandals, Lee and Montague, trying to take each other out on the far side. Now back behind the net. As Paulson trying to find somebody down ice, and he does. Back behind is Wilson. And they're going to say that he came across the line. And then Wilson slides that one on the back of the net, which is typically a delay of game penalty, especially that long after the whistle. And Eastern Washington very unhappy about that. They're going to let Wilson go back to the bench, especially this late in the game.
But there's an example of what I was talking about, what Idaho has been trying to do all night, and they've only actually worked twice where they got a guy, they sneak a guy in from cherry picking, and that was an example of it right there, and it just has not worked for them tonight, but they're continuing with that process.
A good look by our guy, Robbie Arver. Goes back, talks to Sam Brash, gives him a little head pat. Says, don't worry about that one, big guy. That one off the mark. It's going to float all the way back up to Myers, where it's actually picked up on the way there by De Leon. He gains the blue line, tries to push it over to Stotzner. He picks it up a little bit too late.
And it's good to see Arver back blowing people up.
Now here comes DeZerkis. He needs one more here, and he's tied up. Good defense by DeJarin.
I think that's his hat trick.
And that is Robbie Arver. That's his second of the night.
Oh, I thought that was his third.
It's his second with 2 assists.
Oh.
This man's been everywhere today.
Let's hope he gets one. Let's hope he pops that hat trick. I thought that was his third. My mistake. Good job, Arver.
But what a night for Mr. Arver. 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists as he finds the back of the net again. See if we can get a quick look at that replay on the next stoppage. Apparently, I'm not watching the broadcast. Our director, Kayla, way ahead of me, already showing this replay. So you see Arver finding his spot from the far side. Eastern just setting up in that far face-off dot to the stick side of Gracilius.
Well, that's because the Vandals are chasing him on that opposite side. So it leaves it wide open, and Eastern's taking full advantage of that.
And Arver with it again. He's going to push it up ahead. High into the air at center ice. Myers swinging a miss. Now DeZerkis with it. He's knocked down at the blue line, and the officials are going to call that one, and Idaho's going to be very unhappy because that same play happened the other way a couple of times, and no call for them.
But you know as well as I do, you got to see Arver get that hat trick. Got to see him get the hat trick. And I wouldn't be surprised if Eastern just keeps feeding him the puck on this power play right now. And listen to this crowd. It's an impressive crowd here tonight. Eastern's been packed in this place quite a bit this year.
Well, they had to let Beeler know you can't do that. And a charge, it looks like.
And that's a rare call.
And we'll see who gets called for that. The official, or I guess they're just going to redo it. The official definitely made the charge call on the far side. So Beeler, 2 minutes for tripping. And Eastern going to try and find the back of the net again. 3 for 5 on the power play tonight. Up top to Lusk. That one kicked away to DeZerkis on the far side. Feeds it out front, tipped, and into the back of the net. What a tip from distance.
I think that was, I'm not sure who got that. Was
that DeZerkis? Are they going to give that to Dom for his third of the night? He's chasing the puck. I sure think so.
Or Smith. I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. There's 3 of them right by each other.
Let's see who it was that tipped that out front.
Here we go.
And that one was definitely tipped. So I don't think it was DeZerkis. We'll see who that was. but another power play goal. Well, Gary, you did call that hat trick, but it was for Sean Smith, not Dom DeZerkis. But just like that,
I saw him pointing at Smitty, and then Dirkus, I think that's what he did. He went down and got the puck so he can give to Smith on that hat he got. But nice job, Mr. Smith.
So that's Smith's 7th goal of the season. And how about that as
Kendall.
Carson Kendall finds the back of the net too.
That was a beautiful shot by Carson Kendall right there. He just kind of pulled it back, and Basilia started to go down. He just buried it in the top shelf. Kendall's had a strong game tonight. This is probably the best I've seen him play. I played outstanding, and he's got, a couple assists also tonight?
Couple assists and a goal. Nate Kowalik with the assist on that.
Good job, Nate. Now we got to be careful now on some of the little, it's getting a little chippier. Now Idaho's going in the box, and I think that's Beeler again. He just has back-to-back penalties, but crowd's definitely letting them know.
I mean, if he didn't know before, between the refs and the fans, he definitely knows now. You can't do that. But that's a tough look for a player to give up a power play goal when you're in the box and less than a minute later head back to the sin bin. On the ice is Arver, Smith, Bunch, Lusk, and DeZerkis for the Eagles.
Let's see if Dom or Robbie can get that hat trick. Match Smith. Smith's had a strong game tonight. He has constantly been putting pressure on that netminder.
Lusk is taken down as the crowd here thought there was something nefarious about that. But Lusk back up to his feet, gains the blue line. He's still holding on to it. Back pass to DeZerkis. He makes one-man miss, goes to Bunch on the right side. I think Dawson, the only one on the ice currently that hasn't found the back of the net tonight. And that's where they're going to go with the puck. Back up top to Lusk. Lusk around to DeZerkis. DeZerkis down low. Arver has to chase. Finds Bunch. Bunch up top to Lusk again. Over to DeZerkis. A swing and a miss by Dom. Smith chases that one. Back to Bunch. Looking to circle again. Bunch thinks about the shot. Lays it off to Lusk. Far side to DeZerkis. DeZerkis off the window. And Lusk going to give chase. Lusk shields it with his body. Center ice now. He's got Bunch on the right. That's where he goes with it. Bunch rims it around. Looking for Arver. Arver out front to Smith. Now over to Lusk. Lusk to Arver. Thinks about it. Picks his spot. And a huge save by Gracilius. Another fantastic save by the Idaho netminder. He has played out of his mind tonight, despite the score.
Can't say enough good things about him.
Bunch looking for that Arver stick, and that's going to go onto the Idaho bench. Looking to warm up Mahoney there, as the Idaho backup netminder almost caught that one in the mask.
Getting everybody involved in the game.
Let's take a look back at Smith's goal here. His hat trick. As Eastern Washington back with the puck now. The Vandals able to kill off that penalty. The second time they've killed one off tonight. High and into the netting on the far side. 3:38 left to play. But as we said, the Eagles going to head out on the road after this. 4 games over Halloween weekend in California. Then they return home Friday, November 7th against USC. That game is going to be Military Appreciation Night. Some specialty military jerseys on the way for that one. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank everybody out there for placing their bids for the breast cancer awareness pink jerseys last week. We were able to raise over $1,000 in donations for local cancer charities and benefiting several nonprofits. Passed through the legs by Patrick there for Eastern Washington. We'll hope to raise a similar amount for military funds in a couple of weeks with those military jerseys. So keep an eye out on the team's social media for your chance to bid on one of those jerseys next week as well. I've had a chance to see them. And a good opportunity by Stotzner there, and he finds the back of the net to make it 14-2 for the Vandals. This one coming 17:04.
Mr. Brash broke his stick, so I'm wondering if that didn't have a part in. He just went and got a new one. That's an impressive figure, though, that the money raised for the cancer night.
It's always nice when this group can not only give back to the guys on the ice, but give back to the community, and really hope to do that again next week as well, and hopefully get another $1,000 or even more to be able to donate to military causes in our area.
And you got to give a shout out to the boosters, for getting this stuff set up. That's allowing Eastern to do it.
We'll have another stoppage here. And if you want to help support the boosters, you can do so at eagleshockeyboosters.com. Every booster this year gets free admission to every Eastern Washington game. And if you are a family out there, you can get 3 booster memberships for $350. It's the family pack this year at eagleshockeyboosters.com. But even if you can just support them on Facebook, on social media, help get the word out, that makes a tremendous difference for things like the jersey auction. Here comes DeZerkis. Forehand into the leg pad. Tried to bounce it off of the leg pad and play that pass out to Nikolov. Orver again looking to find the back of the net there. And that'll be an icing. 1:59 left to play. You can get your tickets for those games at EWUEaglesHockey.com, or just scan that QR code right there on the screen. You can get tickets for every game for the rest of the season. Come out here, join the guys, and cheer them on to victories like this one. And a dive by Gracilius and a diving shot by Kendall. It actually goes behind the goalie, but parallel to the goal line in the blue paint over to the far side now.
If you were just watching it, you would say the netminder for Idaho had a tough night, but Gracilius played outstanding tonight. Just stood on his head.
39 saves is a quality night for any netminder. He's faced 53 shots. And I would expect him to get to 40 saves here shortly. Boot on the far side. He's going to put that towards the goal mouth. Kendall thinks about it. Jelinek falls down in front of the net. And Lusk can't handle that. Kowalik now. The Eagles defenseman playing pass in their own end, but still not taking that pedal off of the metal as Jelinek brings it in across the blue line.
And that's great to see. Eastern just continually putting the pressure on Idaho.
That floats ahead. Just past Graves. 45 seconds left to play. Everybody still in their seat here in Cheney, ready to celebrate a home win for Eastern Washington. Just their second home win of the season. Lots of close games. And that one not touched up. They're going to call that one an icing with 18.9 left on the clock.
And you just touched base on it. There's been so many close games Eastern's lost this year, so hopefully people don't get confused with their record. There's only one game I could think of that they weren't in. The rest of them have been 1, 2, 3 goal games. The breaks haven't been there, so hopefully this will turn everything around for them.
Bunch with 11 seconds left to get down the ice. Eastern did score at the end of the second, right at the buzzer, but doesn't look like that'll happen here in the third. And Kendall Clark rather, just going to skate that one off, and Eastern Washington able to hold off their Big Sky rival, the Idaho Vandals, in front of a big home crowd here in Cheney. Final score 14-2. Taking a look back at the stats in this one, Robbie Arver, we said his name quite a bit, and that's because he had 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 penalty minutes. Eli Nickish with a goal. Jared Jelinek, 2 goals and an assist. Dezerkis, 2 goals, 2 assists. Smith, 2 goals. Parker Waite, 1 goal and 2 penalty minutes. Carson Kendall, a goal and 3 assists.
I thought Smitty got a hat trick on that.
He did. I think this must not be updated just quite yet. Stats person had left. So Smitty with 3 goals. Kendall with 3 assists and a goal. Joel Lusk with a goal and 3 assists. Tyler Karchner with an assist. Sterling Myers with an assist. Jacob Nickish with an assist. And Liam McGowan with a goal. Points everywhere, but to me, what really stands out there, Gary, is how many assists this team was able to put together. I mean, it's one thing to find the back of the net. It's another thing to string together those passes and plays that lead you to the goals overall. Sam Brash, 23 saves on the night. Colin Gracilius, 39 saves on the night. But Eastern Washington, winners here in Cheney on a one-game weekend, 14-2.
I'm sorry, Tyler, but I think you really summed it up. What Eastern did tonight, they played as a team. And that's why you saw so many passes and so many assists, because they were looking for their fellow line mates. They weren't worrying about their own selves. And when they play that way, they're an extremely difficult team to beat. And Brash, you can't say enough about how he played, only let 2 in. But I really liked how Eastern played as a unit tonight. They did it earlier in the season. They got away from it, but that's why there were so many assists. They played as a full team, and that'll bode well for them on that California swing.
It's always tough, 4 games in 4 days, but if you've got to go into that, having a one-game weekend the weekend before and putting 14 on the board is a heck of a confidence boost. As we said, Eastern going to be in California next weekend for Halloween, and then we'll return home November 7th for military night with some special military uniforms. For everybody here at Eastern Washington Hockey, for our director, Kayla, for my color guy, Gary, my name's Tyler Pisani saying good night. Go Eagles. We'll see you on military night.